Welcome to the virtual college exploration for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us today. Just a few housekeeping announcements for our attendees. Chat has been disabled, so if you have any questions for our presenter, please ask those in the Q&A feature. Your microphone and video have been turned off, so the presenter cannot hear or see you. This is just one of many sessions that will be happening, so please visit the full schedule at CACRAO.org. That's CACRAO.org. And in about a week's time, this session, along with all the others, will be made available for on-demand viewing at that same website, CACRAO.org. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenter.
Good morning and welcome to the Syracuse University 11 o'clock information session. My name is Jason Berry. I'm one of the senior assistant directors from the Central Admission Office at Syracuse. My presentation this morning will roughly last about 30 minutes or so. I'm certainly going to highlight a few different things, talk certainly about our academic programs. I'll talk about student life at campus, and then I'll conclude with the admission process for transfer students, and then also give you some information about financial aid and how that will work. Like the facilitator said, I please welcome any questions as I'm going through. I do see the Q&A box, so I'll be checking them periodically and answer them as I'm going through the presentation. But again, thank you for joining us. I'm going to share my screen and the PowerPoint with you now. Here we go. One moment. All right, here we go. So again, my name is Jason Berry. I'm one of the associate directors at Syracuse University and one of the transfer counselors within the office. We are Syracuse University. We are a top 50 national R1 research university in upstate New York. We're about 3.5 hours, 4 hours north of New York City. So we're right in the heart of New York State. We are very much a residential college or university. This slide here shows you our main campus. We're roughly around 15,000 undergrad students, about 21,000 students altogether when you include our graduate and PhD programs. But we like to think of ourselves as a larger national research university, but we're going to give you that smaller college experience and feel. So on average, the class sizes are right around 25 students and right around a 60-to-1 student to faculty ratio. This picture again is our main quad. So I like to think of our campus as kind of like a bullseye. So the middle ring here is going to be our academic buildings. So this building here would be engineering. This is our arts and sciences school. Down here would be our communications school. This is our performing arts school with theater and design. On the outer ring there, that is going to be our residential halls or dorms. And then the outer ring of that is going to be the city of Syracuse. So you really have the best of both worlds. You have a beautiful green residential campus, but then you have the resources of a good sized big city right nearby. So we're about 750,000 in the metropolitan area of Syracuse. So we're a little bit larger than like a classic college town, if you will. Talk a little bit about programs. So at Syracuse, we are divided into 9 undergraduate colleges. We have a number of different enrollment options that you can pursue. We have over 200 academic programs and over 100 minors to choose from, including dual programs. So different enrollment options that you could pursue at Syracuse. You could do what's called just a single enrollment, which means you're enrolled in one specific school, completing one major. So that might be you're enrolled in arts and sciences in the psychology major. You can also, once you get to Syracuse, think of maybe doing a double major, triple major. I've even heard some instances where there's been quadruple majors. That's very rare, but if you have a lot of credits coming in that are going to match up with different programs, it could be a possibility. More times than not, students would just look to do maybe like a double major, which means you're completing 2 degree programs in one school. So a double major might mean you're, psychology major along with sociology, Or if you're an engineering student, maybe a mechanical and chemical engineer. So 2 double majors within the same school. We can also do what's called a dual enrollment. So that's something you can apply as an incoming transfer student, or maybe something you could configure once you get to Syracuse. These are already configured, already put together. Some of these combinations would be like our business school with communications, our business school with our iSchool, arts and sciences and engineering. So essentially completing 2 degrees from 2 separate schools on campus. And then it is very easy to connect a minor. So you can have up to 3 minors along with your major. It can be something related to your program, or it could be something you just want to, take for fun, or something that really interests you. So it could be a minor within your school, or certainly a minor outside of your school. Some of our more well-known programs and schools at Syracuse, School of Architecture is one of the top schools in the country. We're consistently in the top 3 in the country for our architecture program. The Whitman School of Management, our business school, considered one of the top 30 schools in the country for business. We have a full accreditation through our business school through the AACSB. Many highly ranked majors within that school: entrepreneurship, finance, marketing are some of the top programs there. Roughly 50% of the students in business will double major. Also, our communication schools, so the SI Newhouse School of Public Communications, widely regarded as one of the top 5 schools in the country for communications, with programs like broadcast journalism, advertising, television, radio, film, photography. So some more of the technical type of communication majors there. We're also really strong in the performing arts. So if anyone is considering like theater or music, or is really creative, we have strong design programs. We also have a film program within the Visual Performing Arts School as well. And then lastly, we do have an engineering school, School of Education, and then we have the Arts and Sciences School, which is the largest school on campus. And like I said, we really do strive to give you that smaller college experience and feel. We're very much a hands-on institution, and I'll talk to you guys about that in a moment. When you apply to Syracuse, you would also apply to a specific school and major. So if you know what you want to study, you would apply to that school directly. If you have less than I would say about 50 credits, you could consider coming in undecided. So if you're not quite sure what you want to study yet, you could look to come in undecided into a specific school, take coursework, and then figure out what you want to study from there. Now, putting real life, getting that real life world experience is a trademark of Syracuse. So we really want students to get those real life experiences through internships, maybe going to grad school. Our advisors work directly with our students. So I think something unique to Syracuse is that each one of the home schools have their own career services and internship offices. So you have dedicated staff in each one of the 9 schools working with our students in terms of placement. This slide here shows you just a small sample of where some of our students have interned recently, a pretty good variety. So you see Deloitte, like EY for our business students. Sport management is very strong at Syracuse. So you'll see like NASCAR, NFL. You see Department of State for political science, Microsoft for like computer science students, the summer or the Olympics for our broadcast students in communications, American Red Cross for like public health. So a really good variety of places you could internship. These can happen as early as like first or second semester once you get to Syracuse. So typically they're done later on for like a semester or a year, in your junior, senior years. But even before then, you could do them during like a break, during the summer. If you're staying in Syracuse, we could also look to provide an internship there. And then we also have dedicated career service staff that work with our students that are looking to go on to grad school, help you with your resume building, interviewing skills, research into grad schools, what schools have the best programs for me. So these are staff that will customize plans, they're mentors, and they're going to really find strong placement for you. Overall, as an institution, we're right around 93% placement. Within 6 months, students are going on to a full-time job, going on to grad school, or going on to another internship. So we do have strong placement. We also have pre-professional programs. So if anyone's thinking of going on to like med school or dental, veterinary, we do have like the pre-med programs or pre-professional programs as well, where you would come into those and then eventually go on to your grad programs from there. So like I was saying a little bit earlier, here at Syracuse, we really believe in research and experiential learning, that hands-on experiences. We're not just all about going to class, taking notes and an exam. You learn by doing at Syracuse. So here shows, some of our students getting really involved into their program. So we are a Research 1 university, which means that is the highest designation you can earn as an institution. Roughly 130 schools in the country actually earn this designation. So we're right at the top of the list there. And when I say research and just like hands-on, it's not all about, just dissection or working in labs. This picture over here shows our design students. So students working in our warehouse facility in the fashion design program. We also have like flight simulators for like our aerospace engineering students. The Student Sandbox is a business entrepreneurship facility. Syracuse Stage is our professional equity theater in Syracuse, so that's for our theater students. Invent at SU is for our iSchool students, so students that are coming up with their own businesses. We've had students go on to the show Shark Tank, so if you've ever seen that show with like Barbara and Mr. Wonderful, we've had some of our students go on to that show, present their ideas, get awarded money by some of the sharks, and go on and fulfill their dream of their own business. So we're really, really proud with the amount of opportunities that are afforded. We have roughly 30 research centers alone on our campus, and we really believe in our students. So last year, roughly $79 million was awarded to our students to do their own research or teaching opportunities. Like I said, if anyone has any questions as I'm going through, please feel free to ask them. I am checking the box here as well, the Q&A box. I want to make sure I get all of your questions answered. And then at the end, I'm certainly going to share my number and email. So if you have any questions after this, please feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call. A little bit about our abroad program. So I'm not sure if any students out there are thinking about connecting a study abroad to their education, but it's certainly a point and something that we really encourage students to do at Syracuse. Roughly 50% of our students will study abroad at least once before they graduate. So a very high number will take advantage of this. More times than not, it's done for a semester, so not for a full year, typically just a semester. If you couldn't fit it in during an academic year, you could look to do it during the summer or maybe even during a holiday break. Any student can be a part of an abroad, doesn't matter which school or college you're in or what major. Just some programs would have maybe a shortened window of time to do that. And then some of our programs actually already connect study abroad to them. So those would be like our architecture school. We'll do an abroad in Florence. Some of our theater students will do abroad in London. Business would do London, New York City, a domestic abroad, if you will. And we're very good at our abroad program. So we have one of the oldest programs in the country, and we're consistently ranked in the top 25 schools in the country for our abroad programs. We have 5 of them ourselves. So these are Syracuse Abroads that we control. There are centers. So we have places in London, Madrid, Strasbourg, France, Florence, Italy, and then Santiago, Chile. And then we partner with another 60 countries as well. Also, it does not prolong your graduation, so you can still graduate in 4 years. Transfer students can be a part of these. You don't have to start from day one at Syracuse. Transfer students are certainly afforded this opportunity as well. And then lastly, financial aid is also connected to study abroad. So it's not just for rich kids. Any student is going to be afforded this opportunity and make it manageable through the financial aid resources. All right, I want to talk a little bit about student life at Syracuse. So I just spoke a little bit about the academic programs, our academic philosophy. And like I said, we are very much a residential institution. So students are there during the week, during the weekends. They're not going to class like on Tuesday and then leaving. Students live on campus. It's a very energetic, very community, a lot of energy. We're very inclusive at Syracuse as well. And we have a very diverse student body. So it's not just like white kids from New York. We are diverse in all senses of the word, geographically, socioeconomically, culturally. We have students from all 50 states. And yes, we do have students from North Carolina and South Carolina. We also have more than 160 countries internationally represented. So you really get a diverse section of students. We, like I said, are a residential school. So residential living is available. Transfer students do have the option to live on campus. We don't guarantee it like we do for first year students, but it is there. I've worked with transfer students for about 6 years now, and we've never exhausted on campus housing. So it's there if you want it. That living is on our South Campus. It's known as the Sky Halls. That's one of our transfer communities there. It is connected to our main campus through a free shuttle system. It is literally about a mile down the road, so it's very close by. They also have their own student union or student center there on South. So they have dining halls, meeting rooms, gyms, laundry service, all of that as well. So it's a home away from home. If you do not want to live in on-campus housing, that will be fine. You can live off campus. There is a lot of opportunity there. So there's a lot of different types of housing, apartments, houses, duplexes, apartment complexes within just a few minutes walk of main campus. You do not need a car. So obviously if you're coming from a long distance away, it is a very walkable campus. There's shuttles, you have Uber. So it's really not a necessity to have a car at Syracuse. Everything is very much contained. You don't need to take like a 10-minute tram ride to get to your next class. It is very manageable to walk around and get to the city of Syracuse. We are also that big rah-rah institution. So we're D1 in athletics. We're part of the ACC or the Power 5 conference. So we do have, your traditional sports, your football, your basketball. Lacrosse is really popular here. We have really strong women's sports. So we do play the likes of like Duke down south near you guys. We play like UNC, Clemson. So some Southern schools like that as well. If you're not a D1 athlete or don't want to, put that much time in, we do have a number of club and intramural sports that students can choose from as well. We also have a pretty robust Greek life on campus. So if any students thinking of going Greek, you can do that. They typically you can't join your first semester when you get on campus as a transfer student, but you could look to do it like the next semester. About 25–30% of our students will go Greek. Here at Syracuse, it really is not a make or break thing. It's not peer pressure. You're not going to be ostracized if you're not in it. It's there if you want to be a part of it. If not, you'll definitely still have that college experience. You'll meet friends and still have that full student experience. We also are very, very, very school spirited. So if you're looking for a school with a lot of school spirit, that would be us. We bleed orange. That's our colors. So we love the color orange. We were also recently voted on as one of the top schools in the country for our school spirit, voted on by Princeton Review and some of the other outlets. Some of these slides here show some different events that have gone on campus. So this one is our a cappella groups singing in their pajamas. So it's one of our like pitch perfect events, if you will. Here is Otto the Orange. So he's our mascot. He's a lovable mascot on campus. He was voted one of the top mascots in the country by like ESPN and some of the other sporting outlets. So they're doing some free public skating in our ice rink on South Campus. We do a lot of community service at Syracuse. So if you're a student that really likes to give back and likes to do service, you would be at the right school. This is students working on Habitat for Humanity. And in the bottom corner here, this is Trevor Noah. He's one of the popular TV hosts of The Daily Show on the Comedy Central. So we bring in a number of different big time guest speakers on campus, internationally recognized speaker each year. We also have a lot of different recreational services going on. Orange After Dark is one of our student run committees that decide on some different events that will happen on campus. So there's always something going on, very lively campus. And we really incorporate the residential living with that. Also, the city of Syracuse, like I said, is a pretty good sized city. So I would classify it as bigger than a college town. So again, about 750,000 in the metropolitan area. We have a great downtown area that's literally about 5 minutes away. That's known as Armory Square. So if you're a foodie and you like to eat, you would definitely be at the right place. We have a lot of great restaurants. One of my favorites on campus is called the Dinosaur Barbecue, or excuse me, not on campus, downtown. Dinosaur Barbecue, a great barbecue spot. We have Postabilities, which are one of my favorite Italian places. Funkin' Waffles is a cool breakfast spot that was opened up by two SU alums. We also have some great cultural venues down there, a lot of music, a lot of theater, different museums. We also have two minor league sport teams outside of our own. So you have the minor league team for the New York Mets, and then we also have the minor league team for the NHL Tampa Bay Lightning, who just recently won the Stanley Cup. So those are cheap to go to, cheap events. So get away from campus, go enjoy like a sporting event with some of your friends. We also have the 6th largest mall in the country. So if anyone's fans of malls, you can go there for a weekend and shop and eat and do other things, IMAX theaters and different other fun events that are in the mall. We also are located in central New York, like I said, right in upstate New York, about 4 hours north of New York City. So we have a lot of great green space. So there's a lot of hiking, a lot of camping. If you're an outdoorsy person, again, you could find a lot of those experiences, a lot of different local parks, state parks nearby. We do get some snow, so a little bit different probably from where you're from, but we really like to say we have all 4 seasons at Syracuse. Fall is my favorite time here when all the leaves are changing. Then when you move into winter, you have a lot of great other opportunities to get outside, do some skiing, snowboarding, things like that. What else? And like I said, you don't need a car to enjoy any of these. Like I said, the city of Syracuse is very close by. Getting around campus is very easy to do as well. This slide shows the Barnes Center on our campus. This is a new multi-million-dollar facility that we opened up last year. So it's a one-stop shop for all of our health, wellness, and recreational services. Here you see our rock climbing wall. So students are relieving some stress by doing some rock climbing. We also want to be mindful of, mental services, mental disabilities. So we do have a lot of counseling and health services there, our pharmacy. We have our gyms there, pools, whirlpools, saunas. We have an esports gaming room. So, a room with all sorts of like Xboxes and PlayStations. We have pet therapy. So the way it works now is students will make appointments to go there. If it were normal times, students would just go in, slide their SUID card through and enjoy the facility that way. Obviously, some of the services would require an appointment, but it's a great place to unwind and certainly continue to stay healthy while you're at school. This is a shot of our student center, the Shine Student Center. We're doing some great new enhancements to this that will be opened up within the next couple months. So we really want to make this more of a focal point. This is right on main campus. So here you see, Dunkin' Donuts, obviously. So everybody runs on Dunkin'. So you certainly get your Dunkin' fix. We also have a lot of meeting, gathering, studying lounges as well. A lot of our cultural centers are located there. So we're really excited about the new enhancements that are being made to our student center. So again, it'll be a main focal point for a lot of our students to just unwind, catch up with some of their friends, study, so on and so forth. All right. So before I go on a little any further with some of the transfer requirements and the transfer process along with financial aid, this is some contact information for you to take down. Syracuse.edu, that's our website. So if you're looking for any specific information about programs, anything like that, you can go there. Oops, excuse me. We have the admission office number. So we are working remotely, but if you call our admission office number, you will get transferred to me. And then lastly, this is my email. So if you have any questions moving forward, please feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email right there, and I'd be happy to answer questions as we move forward. Now, a little bit about the transfer process. So we are a Common Application School exclusive. So you would apply using the Common Application at commonapp.org. You would also complete within there the Syracuse supplement. So you apply transfer application, and then within the Syracuse supplement, you would apply directly to a school and a major. So if you know you want to go into engineering and mechanical, you apply directly to that school in the program. You can also put down more than one option. So you can have a first and second choice. So if we can't admit you into your first choice, we will consider you for your other. Some of the more competitive programs to transfer into and ones that are a little bit more limited in terms of space availability would be our School of Architecture, the Business School, Communications, and a lot of our talent-based programs like music and theater are going to have caps to them in terms of the amount of transfer students we can bring in. A lot of our schools don't have a required GPA to be admitted. Because we have what's really called a holistic review process, which means we look at everything. We look at the number of years you've been in a school. If you've been to a number of different colleges, we look at all of those. We look at each semester. We look at if you withdrawn from a class. Did you retake that? How well did you do? So two schools that do have a specific GPA to apply would be our business school. They're looking for roughly around a 3.4 cumulative GPA or higher. They are looking for some specific classes such as like Calc 1, statistics, and then micro macro econs. Our Newhouse School is going to be much more competitive to get into as well. So programs like journalism or advertising, television, radio, film. That school requires a 3.5 or higher cumulative GPA. And they're really looking for more liberal arts type of curriculum. So you don't necessarily have to have a lot of, communication courses under your belt. It'd actually probably be a little bit better to have just more liberal arts because you'd have a better chance of those transferring into us. We have two deadlines to apply. So we do have a spring transfer option along with a fall. So the spring deadline is a November 15th date. Notification for spring will start going out about early December. And then the fall deadline for fall 2021 will be July 1. Yes, that is July 1. So it's very, very far away. But obviously you don't want to wait that long to apply. I tell most students that are looking to apply for the fall to start the application around like February or so. So get your application in and then start sending in your supporting documents after that. So things that we're going to require to complete an application, one are going to be your official college transcripts that will need to be sent from your schools. Again, so we look at all of them, depending on how many schools you've attended. If you have less than 30 college credits completed at the time you apply, then we'll need to receive your final high school transcript and standardized testing. So we will need to look at your high school work. If you have more than 30 college credits completed at the time you apply, then we're just going to look at your college work. So then we don't need to see any of your high school work at that point. We will also look at one academic recommendation. So we would like that to come from a professor, an advisor, maybe an internship coordinator. If you have more than one that you'd like to include, you can do that. I just wouldn't get, too many. So we, 2 would be sufficient. We don't need to get like 5 or 6 recommendations. 2 would be good. And then lastly, we require something called the college report form. That can be also found right in Common Application, or that form can be found right on our website at syracuse.edu, admissions, undergraduate tab, and then our transfer page. What that form does, it lets us know what type of academic standing the student was in previously at their school. So we would need that to be filled out typically by the registrar's office or someone who has access to your academic and disciplinary records. If you've attended other schools as a full-time degree seeking student, we would need a college report from them as well. If you took classes at a college, community college, or 4-year school during high school, or as a part-time student, we do not need a college report from them. Only if you attended a school full-time in a degree seeking program. And then lastly, if any student is looking at one of our talent-based programs like architecture or performing arts, there would also be a talent portion to that. So you'll reach out directly to those specific schools on their portfolio requirements. Right, getting close to my time. Oops, sorry. Anything else about that? I think that is it in terms of the admission process for transfer students. Now, lastly, in terms of financial aid, we offer 2 forms of aid at Syracuse. We offer need-based along with merit-based. So need-based aid, you and your family will file the FAFSA, which is pretty standard, the free application for federal student aid, along with the CSS profile. So that's an additional document that we require that can be found off the College Board website. And that form will consider you for grant or institution money. So we won't just load you up with a ton of loans. We might also include a $15,000 grant that you don't need to pay back to offset some of the costs. We also have merit-based scholarships or academic scholarships that you do not apply for. Simply by applying to Syracuse, you're going to be automatically considered. Typically, qualifications there, probably about a 3.5 or higher GPA. And then we look at some of your other qualitative, some of your extracurricular activities, things like that. That is a $10,000 award, merit award that is annual. We also have something called the Phi Theta Kappa Scholarship or a PTK award. So if any student is a member of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society, you would also receive $2,000 right off your bat there. Now, we are a private school, so there is no difference between in-state or out-of-state. So there isn't a different cost for students coming from South Carolina, North Carolina. It is all the same. We also package you the same. So we're not going to package you any differently if you're coming from the Carolinas or New York or Wyoming. We will package you all the same once we get the FAFSA and the CSS profile. We do try to make it affordable and manageable. We give some pretty comprehensive financial aid packages. This past year, $414 million was awarded in aid, which reached about 80% of our students. So again, please don't let the cost deter you from really considering us as a viable option. And you apply for financial aid the same time as you're applying. So once you apply, you really want to do your financial aid at the same time so that once you're admitted, financial aid will get your information and then package you accordingly. Typically about 2 weeks after you receive your admission notification, you'll receive your financial aid. The merit scholarship would be right in your admission letter if you do receive one of those. Another point I want to touch on, which I didn't mention, is transfer credits. That's obviously a very important part of students' decision making. So we do accept credits from an accredited 2- or 4-year school. in which you've earned a C or better in liberal arts. So any of your math, your science, English classes in which you've earned a C or better will transfer over. They are done by the school that you're admitted into. So I wouldn't personally be doing your evaluations. They will be done by, like the arts and science school, communications and business. And again, those typically follow about 2 weeks after you receive your admission notification there. So you do not need to enroll first to get your evaluation. You can wait to get that to decide if, we're taking a lot of your credits, and then you can choose to enroll from there. Fantastic. So that is my presentation. Again, I want to thank you for attending this morning. And I just, again, want to reiterate that we are a transfer-friendly school and campus. We don't think of transfer students as an afterthought at Syracuse. We have great resources on campus to assimilate you. We have the transfer newsletters. We have the transfer transition team. We have peer mentors. And we have our own office on campus, the Office of First Year and Transfer experience right there to help you. And then we also lastly have a really strong orientation program. So that'll help you assimilate you right to SU as if it was, you started freshman year. So please don't think you'll be isolated or ostracized. You don't have to wear like a scarlet letter at Syracuse. We really welcome transfer students on our campus. All right, and again, this is my contact information. I'll leave that up for any students to take. I don't believe there are any questions or any questions here. So I'm going to stop talking. Again, thank you for attending my session this morning. I hope it was helpful, and good luck with everything. Great.
Okay, thank you again for joining us today. When you close out this window, attendees, you will receive a link to a short 4-question survey. We appreciate any feedback that you can provide for us. Again, this is just one of many sessions happening. Feel free to visit the full schedule at CACRAO.org. That's CACRAO.org. And in about a week's time, this presentation, along with all others, will also be made available on that same website, CACRAO.org. Thanks again for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.